What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Physical Education with Coach. I am your coach, Coach Cullen Carroll, and this is our final video in the testing series. We're now going to look at one of the most crucial aspects to physical performance, one of the ones that determines whether we can live long enough, have less disease in our body, and whether typically we can perform well at the tasks that most of us do on a daily basis. That is going to be aerobic capacity. Now, when it comes to physical education, there are usually three routes for determining our aerobic capacity. There's some type of a distance running test, some type of a distance running test through a shorter course, and then there's typically a walking test. Now, these are trying times, and I understand that most of us do not have access to a proper course. And what do I mean by a proper course? If you can make your way to a track where they have a proper 400-meter course, and you can run that 4 times and use a stopwatch or your phone to measure your time, well, then that is amazing, and I wish that you would do that so we can have an accurate measurement and an accurate time of your mile. The other option is to use a basketball court, okay? And if you use a basketball court, you're looking at about 19 laps total running around that court. Again, you're gonna need some type of measuring device in terms of a watch, stopwatch, or a phone. And then you're also going to need to make sure that the distance around the court is going to be accurate. And in most basketball courts, even when you go to a local park or inside of some type of stadium, you're going to have an accurate measurement because those courses are usually made based off of a standard. Now, what I have designed for today, you can see there's a cone down here. And actually there's a wall at the very end of my yard over there where there's a second cone. And that is designed to be 20 meters or 66 feet apart. So if you want to set up your course like this because you don't have a measured course out on the street and you're not near a track or a basketball court, then I would go ahead and take a tape measure, and you're going to measure out 65.5 to be completely accurate, or 66 feet. And then you're going to set a cone at either end of your measurements. And like I said, you really have 3 options for this test, and I want us to try all of them on this first go around with our physical fitness testing. You have the mile run, okay? Now if we think about that and we calculate it, 20 meters is going to be about 80 total laps. So there is one, back is another one. There is one, back is another one. So 80 times running would be a mile, and you could take your stopwatch or your phone, put some music on, go, and then at the end of your 80 laps, you tell me the time. The second thing you can do is you can walk for those 80 laps, okay? And you have to be particular with the walking version. You need to make sure you measure your heart rate before and at the very end. And then if we're talking about what would be equivalent to the pacer version, I like to turn it into the Cooper Institute's 12-minute run test, actually. So keep your cones set at 20 meters apart, and what you're going to do now is you're going to set a count down instead of a stopwatch counting up, and you're going to try and run between those 2 cones set at 20 meters apart as many times as you possibly can. So I know my dog's sitting there in the background, but I'm going to do a real quick jog down and back to the end to give you an idea of what 2 laps would look like. All right, so if we were starting this test, we would start at our cone, we'd have our stopwatch, we'd hit start, and then we'd start. And just like that, you would have completed 2 laps, okay? Like I said, you have 3 options. You can do the mile run, which means you set a stopwatch and you let it go until you complete a mile, which is 80 laps on our 20-meter course. You can do the mile walk, which is still 80 laps, still a counting up stopwatch. And when you get done, we need to have an immediate heart rate taken. Everybody knows how to do that in my class. And then the last option is our modified pacer, which is going to be a 12-minute clock. count down. As soon as that 12-minute countdown starts, you're trying to go between the cones as many times as you possibly can. This is the aerobic capacity portion of the testing series, and I am Coach Cullen Carroll. I will see you at the end of the series.